What's up, spectators? Welcome back to another episode of Ace Attorney Investigations. Last time, we established the cause of death officially, which was a fall from the railing, and we also found out that the statue that was sitting there, Mr. LeBlanc's statue, was swapped to Zheng Fa for a fake. So now, our prime suspect is Miss Chamomile, who has given us BS testimony. Miss Meal. Miss Meal! Do you recall what you said earlier? About when you answered some service calls as we were departing from Zheng Fa? Huh? You said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible, because Mr. Hicks was dead long before we ever touched down in Zheng Fa. Oh. Miss Chamomile! Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did. No one can make a mistake so large, Miss Meal. But I make that kind of boo-boo all the time. This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction. Very well. Miss Meal, if you please tell me about your alibi during the time span. From just before we were to land at 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. when the body was found. Are you telling me I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth? Oh yeah. Bum bum bum. From 3 to 4, I was in the flight attendant's room, all by my lonesome self. 3 to 4. Yeah. And from 5 to 6, I was in the flight attendant's room, all by my lonesome self. Except you weren't, because at 5:40, she bought a suitcase. Teniro bought a suitcase. How's a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Meal, wake up! She fell asleep again. It looks like the only way I'm gonna be able to wake her up is by pressing her. Ah yeah, before I go off presenting evidence like usual, let's press these statements. 3 to 4, I was in the flight attendant's room. If I remember correctly, food was being served in the first class and the lounge. Between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m. Yeah, but that kind of stuff's run by Miss Rhoda. Then what were you doing in the attendance room at that time? Eating, and then having a most delicious dream. You mean you were neglecting your duties? No way! Sleeping's part of our job too, you know. From 5 to 6, in the flight attendant's room. So you were alone the entire time, were you? Yeah, no one else even popped their head in to say hi. Well, I think a contradiction just popped in to say hi. What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Yes. Miss Meal, there's a clear contradiction embedded in your testimony. What are you talking about? It's not possible that you were alone in the attendance room the whole time from 5 to 6 because of the receipt. Take that. I wonder if you would be so kind as to take a look at this receipt, Miss Meal. Huh? A receipt? For what? It's for the suitcase Miss Teniro bought. Now, if I may direct your attention to the timestamp. As you can see, it clearly says 5:40 a.m., Miss Teniro. Yes. Oh, sorry, I read that all wrong. It's a separate sentence. Huh? Why is the killer here? I thought you'd have her locked up by now. I requested that she be present as a witness so that we may straighten out your complex lie. Now then, Miss Teniro, between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m., you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in-flight shop, correct? Yes, I went to the shop to buy a suitcase. After which I went straight to the attendance room to drop it off. And did you see Miss Meal there at that time? No. So, Miss Meal, where were you really between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m.? Miss Chamomile! The bathroom? I'll be the one to ask the questions here. Yeah, maybe that's it. I probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know. Do you take me for a fool? That's a little too convenient to be true. But it's the truth. Cross my heart. I don't have enough conclusive proof to counter-argue her at this stage. You don't believe me, do you? But please, won't you give me a chance and hear me out? Good. Give me more things to press you on. I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew. But you would think then maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda too. She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard and the shop, you know. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious. Please leave Miss Tenira out of the conversation. Only you are under suspicion for now. I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you've got your eye on Miss Rhoda. Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I? Never mind. But you want to know something? Miss Rhoda actually kinda... I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design. Now's not the time for this sort of talk. Careful, Edgeworth, that's how you die alone. Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew.
Hold it.
No, it's not the only reason I have for suspecting you. Your statements regarding Mr. Hicks also turned out to be a bunch of lies. Ah, but say I wasn't in attendant. You wouldn't suspect me then, would you? Yes, I suppose that's true enough. But you'd think then maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda too.
Hold it.
She is already being detained for further questioning, or have you already forgotten? Oh, yeah, I guess I just forgot. Cammy, don't tell me you suspect me too. Sorry, can't help it. I mean, other than you, there's no one else who could have done it. I can't believe you would think that. I mean, me, a killer? Miss Meal, what did you mean just now by no one else who could have done it? She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard and the shop, you know.
Hold it.
And what are you in charge of, Miss Meal? I take care of the attendance room. That doesn't count. Aw, but I spend so much time in there. It might as well be my responsibility. Mr. Edgeworth, Cammy is very talented in languages. So she assists passengers who may not speak English. Especially those who speak Borgian. She is the only one on this flight who is fluent. Oh, you mean that kind of what am I in charge of? Why didn't you say so in the first place? What else could I have meant? So, like, I'm really good at Borgian. She's fluent. Then I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Borgian. Yeah, I take care of anything that has to do with Borgian. Very interesting. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious.
Hold it.
Actually, your on-the-job behavior makes you super suspicious in my eyes. Huh? But why? While Miss Teniro is busy with the passengers and all of her other duties, you have a lot of free time on your hands, thus providing you with ample time to commit the crime.
Objection.
Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you cease and desist in this line of conjectural questioning. I almost bit my lip there. That would have been really bad. I won't allow you to bluff your way through this like a certain defense lawyer. Oh, I wonder who she's talking about. You know, we don't really know a lot of defense lawyers. I mean, sure, there's Apollo, you know, there's the whole crew in Dual Destinies, but really, besides Phoenix in the first 3 games. And you can't include Got It isn't, you know, he's prosecutor by then, because it's way before that. I guess technically... Oh my, I don't remember her name. Phoenix's boss. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm blanking. What's Maya's sister's name? Just an M? Oh god. Don't look at me that way. Or don't listen to me that way. I haven't heard her name in forever, in years. Okay. Oh, that's not true, Mr. Edgeworth. Although, well... All I'm in charge of are the... Oh, there is a that big guy who always talks about his hemorrhoids. That's all he talks about is hemorrhoids the whole time. He's a defense attorney, even though you never actually see him do anything. Right, oh yeah. Forgot about that guy. All I'm in charge of are the attendance room and some Borgian and stuff.
Hold it.
So what exactly do you do as the one in charge of some Borgian and stuff? I do stuff like translate things from and into, I'm gonna say Borg. I like that because, you know, Star Trek. Cammy is the only member of the crew who understands Borg, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Meal, I take it then that this is your job to process all the Borg paperwork? Yeah, see? I totally pull my weight around here. So it would appear. Perhaps I should ask her for a few more details about her work. And... Miss Meal, it's very unladylike to push suspicion onto someone else. That's not what I'm doing at all. I'm just saying that Miss Rhoda is very There you go, pushing everything onto her again. I don't get what you're saying. It must be a really abstract concept, huh? The only thing abstract here is the landscape inside your head. Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm the one of the crew. Nope. Alright. You ask me? Here it is. Here it is. Alright, let's try and present those documents. This one? Yep, that's it. That's it. Because it's in Borg. So, you are the only one in this flight crew that speaks Borg. Is that correct? Yeah, I guess so. I studied abroad in Borg for a while. If that is the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it? This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose. To lead anyone who read it to believe that Mr. LeBlanc's statue was loaded in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Borg is you, Miss Meal. You awake now? Without your participation, the smuggling of Aleph Red could not have occurred. Oh, back to bed, I see. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you. Oh, I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth. It is exactly as you say. Are you confessing to have participated in the smuggling? No, far from it. It's true that I was the one who signed off on that document. But you can't use that fact alone to make your allegation of smuggling stick. There's no direct correlation after all. All you have is my signature on a piece of paper. Really? All you did was sign it? I neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded onto the plane properly. So, sorry about that. It seems that she's finally woken up. This is gonna be one tough fight. Suppose, and this is just a supposition, even if I was involved in the smuggling, you can't throw the charge of murder on me just like that.
Objection!
If you were involved in the smuggling, you would have a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding a smuggling ring. And just when he was about to close in, he's killed by a member of that ring. Well, did you ever stop to think that maybe Rhoda is the smuggling ring member? After all, unlike me, Rhoda has access to many things on this plane for work purposes. So perhaps there is some element of a setup at play in this case. What are you talking about? Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you, I meant the killer. First it was myself, and now it's Miss Tenira who is under the microscope. Seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can. You have no proof that Rhoda is being set up, or that she isn't. Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that the plan was to push all the blame for the crime onto her. And we said this before! See, now this is a theory I had back when, we talked about why they would use one of her cases, and then try moving it in, and then because the turbulence, the body flew out. So here we go, okay. This evidence will prove my suspicions. This proves that the killer was out to frame Miss Tenira from the very beginning. Yep, the suitcase. There it is.
Take that!
The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they chose the suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body up from the lower deck to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so? The only way all of these actions make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Miss Tenairo for the murder. Miss Tenairo buys a suitcase on every flight she works without fail. But, should her suitcase be switched with the one containing the victim's body, that would put her in a very tight spot. Unfortunately for the killer, the turbulence put an end to that plan. There wasn't enough time to put the body back into the suitcase. Ergo, they made do with whoever was at hand, adapted their plan, and tried to frame me as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop, and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavor, wouldn't you agree? Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone that badly anyway? That is because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. What special circumstances dictated the need for the killer to frame someone? I guess who he was, because he's Interpol about the smuggling operation. The killer was at a loss of what to do with the Agent Hicks's body. But as it just so happened, there were a bunch of empty suitcases nearby. Being a skinny man, the killer thought to put his body in the suitcase and hand it off. You mean that the whole plan to frame someone was an elaborate coincidence? No, that's not what I said. You've wrongly deduced my meaning, Miss Meal. No! What have I done? When? I guess? Oh, when? Because it was before the swap, that's why. Oh, right, that makes, okay. I'm stupid, I should have spent a second to think about it. The murder took place before the movie was scheduled to go on. Around that time, almost all the passengers had returned to their seats. Therefore, the killer had to choose someone who was at their, not at their seat to frame. Wait, isn't that an explanation for how the killer chose who and not why they had to? Well, I thought it best to start from there. I got this wrong again? Okay, wow. Where the murder took place? Huh. The special circumstances is simply that the murder took place on the plane mid-flight. No matter which country, customs is quite strict in this day and age. So no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there was no choice but to frame either Miss Tenairo or myself. In other words, the only one who fits within the boundaries of the criminal's movements is not Miss Tenairo or myself, but you, Miss Cammy Meal. Only you and you alone could be the killer. And? Are you done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Anyway, let's be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence. Ooh, a new song! I can see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. And isn't there a piece of evidence that's still unaccounted for? Something that I still can't quite fit into the big picture. What? Oh, the phone! Yes, the phone!
Take that!
I don't have any actual evidence. I thought not. But that's because it went missing, and still is. Missing? What do you mean by that? In the complex puzzle that is this case, there was one piece I kept getting stuck on. And that is the victim's cell phone. Francisca, you were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hicks's cell phone. Or at least, that's what you told me. That's right. But Agent Hicks's cell phone could not be found at the crime scene. You mean, the killer took the phone with them? Precisely. I suspect that if we were to find that phone, it will lead us to the killer. Ha ha ha! Come on, get serious. If the victim fell to his death from that height, wouldn't his phone break as well? We won't know that until we try a little experiment, will we? Francisca, I'd like to ask for your assistance. Oh, that's so stupid. He's gonna ask her to call the phone and then it's gonna ring and it'll be in her possession. Why would she leave the phone on? In real life, why would the phone be on? But of course, she's gonna have left the phone on, it's gonna ring, she's gonna be holding it. You know the victim's phone number, do you not? Of course I do. Agent Hicks' phone. It's ringing from somewhere. Or maybe it's in the teddy bear, I don't know. I hear it, Detective. Now where's it coming from? Over here? No? Over here? Where is it? Over here? Up in the flight attendant's room. We better hurry to the flight. Alright, let's go! Whoa, that's loud. Loudest phone on the planet. The ringing's coming from somewhere in here, sir. Leave no stone unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it. Doesn't seem like the phone got mixed in with the items lost found in pile. Check the locker. The ringing's coming from in here, sir. What? No, it can't be. This has got to be the victim's cell phone. Just whose locker is this, sir? And we all know whose locker it is, but I'm gonna end this episode here. So stay tuned for the next one. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye!